You know, it's funny. Sometimes the biggest, most incredible ideas are hiding in the simplest of places. So today, we're going to go on a little detective journey, and it all starts with just one single word. But trust me, it's going to lead us to a powerful system for explaining just about anything. Okay, so our investigation begins with a word we all know, silk. Seems pretty straightforward, right? It's a material, it's soft, we've all heard of it. But this simple word, it's actually our first big clue. Now, have a look at this definition. This is from the Simple English Wiktionary. What's so interesting is the language they use. It doesn't say a natural protein fiber or anything complicated like that. Nope. It just says a strong, soft material. Everything is super clear, super direct, and just easy to get. This deliberate simplicity, that's our next clue. And then, and then, and then, we find this. Tucked away on that same page is this one little sentence. And honestly, this changes everything. A list? An 850 list? Suddenly, our simple search for a word has cracked open something way, way bigger. This right here is the key that's going to unlock this whole story. So let's just focus on that number for a second. 850. It's not a random number, right? It feels specific, totally intentional. This number is the most important piece of evidence we've got, and it is going to blow this whole thing wide open.
So naturally, this leads us to the central question. What in the world is this list? What's it for? And why is a common word like silk even on it?
All right, let's get back to it. Let's really dig into the evidence we have from that source page. What other clues can we pull out? So when you look closer, a really clear pattern starts to show up. I mean, the dictionary itself is called Simple English. The definitions use super basic language. And then, way down at the bottom, we find this little category tag, BE850. Every single clue is pointing towards some kind of intentional system of simplicity. Okay, so we've got all our clues lined up, the simple words, those direct sentences, that weird BE550 tag. Now, let's start connecting the dots. And here's the big aha moment. This simplicity, it is not an accident, it's the entire point. We haven't just stumbled upon a simple dictionary. We found one that was built from the ground up on a very specific set of rules. And this is that system. It's called Basic English. And the idea behind it is actually kind of genius. The goal was to take this massive, sprawling English language and boil it down to a core vocabulary of just 850 essential words. And that list, the BE 550 list, becomes the set of building blocks you can use to explain everything else. So here it is, the big reveal. Basic English is what's called a controlled language, and it was actually created way back in the 1930s. The entire goal was to make a tool for clear, international communication, something that would let anyone share really complex ideas without getting bogged down in tons of vocabulary. And this brings us full circle, doesn't it? This is exactly why our whole journey started with the word silk. It's not just some random word, it's one of the 850 foundational words. It was specifically chosen because it represents a basic, essential concept you need to describe the world around you, which you can then use to explain even more complex stuff. So what's the big lesson here? It's been a fun little detective story, but why does this journey from a simple dictionary entry to a whole linguistic system actually matter to us? The real takeaway is this surprising idea. There's incredible power in working with less. The people who created Basic English, they figured that by actually limiting your tools, you could make things clearer and easier to understand. It just goes to show you don't always need jargon or fancy words to communicate big ideas. Sometimes a small, strong foundation is all you need to build a skyscraper of understanding. So let me leave you with this question. Think about something complex, something you know really well. How would you explain it using only the simplest words you can think of? It's a pretty fascinating challenge, and as Basic English shows us, it just might be the most powerful way to make sure you're truly understood.